Hi, wonderful humans, and welcome to the makeup for Webex meeting number 4 for Human Geography. Although you couldn't make it to our meeting today, I want to make sure that we go through everything that was gone through in the live meeting. You will want your HuG article available, specifically when we start talking about the article in this video, as well as for completing your alternate activity. In our meeting, we are going to go through an overview of the HuG article, as well as talking about your alternate discussion activity. In addition, I'm going to go through and talk a little bit about that CEA that you were completing yesterday, as well as for Monday. With that being said, the article started off by talking to you about this group called the HuG people. We've gone through and talked about who hunter-gatherers are. Again, they lead a very simple lifestyle. They do not use modern technology like you or I. And they have to find all of their own food and use basic survival skills. The Hadza people are located here in Tanzania in Africa, so again in that central eastern portion of Africa, and their lifestyle again is very different than ours. One of the pieces that I gave as an example in our discussion was talking about words to describe them, one being resourceful. As we read through the article, the narrator talked about how he was one of the first people to come into the Hadza civilization from our more modern civilization, and how he had asked the Hadza, do you know who the president is? Do you know anything about London? Once Anwar said that he knew about London, and they couldn't tell them anything that you or I study in school. However, as you can see by the pictures here, as well as reading through the article, that these are very intelligent people. I would not by any means categorize them under stupid by any means. Like I said, very intelligent. They're resourceful, right? Because they're hunting for animals, something that I don't have to do to get my own food, animals large and small. They're gathering berries. Again, when you see those berries in the forest or in the bushes, having to know whether or not they're poisonous and definitely a not eat, or something that is edible and that they can eat. Knowing how big is too big for a tribe to survive and when to break off. So the Hadza, for instance, were a group of about 20-ish people, or packets of different Hadza groups that are of 20. And knowing when too many is too many for the means of survival. Again, bringing a baboon or an antelope or another animal back to that tribe and knowing how many people it is going to feed. I wouldn't have any clue about that. Again, a very intelligent or resourceful group of people. And again, resourceful because they don't have modern technology or luxuries that we have. If you remember when Michael Finkel, the author, and Anwa's son first meet up, he asked him, how many days have you been waiting for me? And he said a few, but knew without a watch or other types of technology, an iPhone, a calendar, or whatever, about the right time to go and meet the author in order to bring him back to the camp. More so, they don't have to worry about things like you or I do, and I'll show you more about that in my example claim and evidence later, but thinking about the coronavirus right now, they don't really have to worry about coming into contact with other people who may be infected because they don't come into contact with modern day people at all. And so I'm going to guess that many of them don't know about the coronavirus at all. And if they do, that they're not worried because, again, they're not coming into contact with us to contract the disease. Another discussion point that we talked about was having to pick whether we would like to live with the Hadza or be quarantined for one more month. Many of your classmates talked about or discussed how they would rather be quarantined for a month because at least they still had their technology. However, some of our classmates did say that they would love to live with the Hadza to get those experiences, whether it was something that they really like hunting, or just to live a more simple lifestyle, because how often does technology get in the way or make us more anxious as people? We want to stay connected, or we feel like we have to stay connected in order to keep up on the knowing of what's happening in the world. And so how awesome would our lives be if we just didn't have to do that and could live however we wanted and not need to know about what else is going on in the world. One of the other things that we brought up was the idea of hunting for animals. Again, the Hadza have to hunt for their own food, and being quarantined, we just go to the grocery store to get it, and seeing those differences in lifestyle, even when the baboons were being hunted in the article that Michael Finkel, the author again, he was very anxious while they were hunting. Again, he didn't have the tools or technology that he probably normally would have when hunting modern day, as well as you could see that the Hadza were almost calm, cool, collected, not only because they had done this many times, but they also knew that this was their lifestyle. This was something that they had to do if they wanted to eat. And definitely something different than you or I, because I think if I was put in that position, I would just say, no, I'll just go to the grocery store or something like that. And so thinking of those differences in lifestyles really gives you insight to the Hadza life. And the last thing I really want you to think about is, why then would somebody choose to be a hunter-gatherer? Why would somebody choose that lifestyle, especially when it's so different than ours? So what I would like you to do for your alternate assignment is respond to one of 2 discussion questions listed on Blackboard. Your response should be about 5 to 10 sentences long, showing you read and understood the entire article. So if you go to our Blackboard page, you will notice that there is a spot now labeled Discussions. Once you click on the discussions, there is a Hadza article discussion questions. Both of the questions are listed here for you. You can click and read both of the questions, and then from there, answer whichever one that you would feel like. Again, your post, per our instructions, say that your response should be 5 to 10 sentences long, showing that you have read and understood the entire article. If you would like to stop the video and work on that and then come back to the end of the video, you may, or you can watch the rest of the video. Know that you do need to go back and then finish that response. The last thing that we're going to talk about today is your CEA assignment. For yesterday, you should have done the claims and evidence. Again, this assignment can be found on Google Classroom. And then by 3 p.m. on Monday, you should watch the CEA review video on Google Classroom and write your own CEA paragraph. Here's the example CEA that I started. Again, I chose that the Hadza have a better life than we do. My claim is one that can be argued because our classmates could argue that we have a better life than the Hadza. So again, your claim should be something that's an opinion or an argument, not a fact. A fact would be an example like the Hadza live in Tanzania. Nobody can argue that, so that's not a very good claim. The second thing is making sure that you have 3 direct quotes from the article. Again, 3 direct quotes from the article, and that you just copy and paste them. That would be the easiest way to do that. So just highlight that article, highlight that sentence, copy and paste it. It is only 1 sentence per piece of evidence, so 3 sentences total, and each one should have a paragraph number, and you'll have to go back and count those paragraph numbers. On Google Classroom then, the last page or the second page of this document will be your box for writing your CEA paragraph. That is due Monday at 3 p.m. Again, you should review the video that I'm going to link on Google Classroom for you on how to write a CEA paragraph, and then write your paragraph. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me either on our Webex chat, email, and especially during those office hours of 9 to 11 daily. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.